Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at the all-new Hammond Collection Sinoceratops. And it sucks. So, story time here. When I first went to Target to get my copy of this, I brought it home. I was so excited to get it. What was it missing? The tail. Like, the entire tail was gone. It just wasn't there. And at first I thought, well, maybe it fell out, maybe I lost it, and nowhere to be found. And I went back and looked at other people's toy reviews. The thing is zip tied to the box, so it couldn't have just fallen out. So the quality control on this seems to be pretty bad. But we went back to Target and got a new one, which thankfully has his tail. Yeah, this thing really sucks when I kind of actually unboxed it, and yeah. So, unlike my past reviews, we'll actually do my dislikes first. But first, we'll go over the packaging. So, the packaging is just kind of your standard Hammond Collection box. You've got a render of it that's been used so many times. Something I noticed with this is that the hole in its frill, in each of the gray, doesn't match up with this. Actually, let me grab a ruler just to show you. So you can see here, it just doesn't line up. So you have, the bit of the box here, and it doesn't go through the frill hole, but then it's just like, who designed this thing? The angle does not even line up to like the rest of the box, which that's kind of silly. You might be thinking, well, it's just a stupid box. Why would you even care if the angle of it doesn't go through the Sinoceratops's hole in its frill? This is something I observed. And which just goes to show again, which just goes to show again just how whoever designed the box didn't probably put that much effort into it. True facts, I would disagree. Jurassic World Hammond Collection Sinoceratops. They're premium collectibles, yet an 8-year-old can play with it. Okay, cool. Jurassic World logo has like a shiny effect to it. So does the Sinoceratops. Jurassic World is like a metal like crate or something. Hammond Collection. Oh yeah, his tail kind of continues out. We have some clearly not edited photos of him, which definitely looks like the actual color of the Sinoceratops. Does not look a little different. Jurassic World, Hammond Collection, Sinoceratops, True FX, premium details for enhanced realism. Oh yeah, then where is the rest of the paint here? Excuse me. Has the thing on the side. You have here's what it says. It says, a broken horn Sinoceratops creeps up on a paralyzed Owen Grady. It bends down with his face, with a tongue full of mucus-dripping saliva. Yum. Then stomps the ground and turns away as burning lava approaches. Okay. But I'm still kind of curious, like, why would they use this horrible scene that I hate from the movie? It was kind of funny when I first watched it, but every time you watch it, it just isn't as funny anymore. Couldn't they have, like, put the Sinoceratops fighting the Carnotaurus there and been like, the Sinoceratops, a mighty, huge ceratopsian, battles the small carnivore known as Carnotaurus. It wins the fight, or something like that. Couldn't they have done that instead of it licking Owen Grady, which is just stupid, I don't know. Same thing on the side. All this junk at the bottom. Anyways, you might be wondering why there's tape here, and why it's like that. It's because at Target, we, asked the guy there to open it for us before we paid for it, just to be sure if it actually had the tail. Thankfully he did, so we bought him. He just kind of tore it open, but it's fine. The other reason I keep the boxes is just in the happen chance I have to ever resell them. Like, in case I'm 60 and have a kidney failure and need money. I don't know. Okay, enough about the packaging. Let's actually get into the figure. First, with my dislikes. Of course, I mentioned the first one I got didn't have the tail, but let's ignore that for now. First issue I had previously mentioned, where's the rest of the paint? I thought they kind of backpedaled here, because, like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Like, they just missed so much of the paint there. And you can see they paint, like, this half and then the other half separately. So that paint just looks kind of uneven, just doesn't really look right to me. And, like, it's just sad, because they just kind of backtracked a little bit here. Oh, yes. So, the tail articulation, this is probably the worst feeling and quality bendy wire I have ever felt. It's just not great. And, oh yeah, the articulation of the tail, super, super stiff, like everything else on this figure. Oh, sorry, my sock got in the way. Yeah, if there's a little bit of ball joint, very, very stiff. Super, super stiff. But if you try to make it go any farther than this, well, what happens? Excuse me. That's not supposed to happen. So literally, if you push it a little too far forward, like I did, I know it looked like I was putting a lot of pressure on it, but I really wasn't. This thing just comes off, and it's really hard to put back in. Just since, yeah, this little ball joint here is very, very, stiff on mine. So, it does come back in, but when you put the tail in for the Hammond Collection, it's just a one and done thing. Like, it's not supposed to come back out that easily. People had that issue with the Stegosaurus too, but I feel like it wasn't as bad as this. Also, oh my gosh, these joints on the legs suck! They suck so bad! Like, honestly though, it just amazes me how stiff they were when I got them. Like, I'm all for stiff joints. I don't like weak joints. And I feel like with stiff ones too, you can kind of work into it. This is beyond stiff. On the first one I got, the legs were super stiff. This one, also super stiff. I had to, like, press it up against my wall like that to actually, like, get it to move. But if I can, God, this thing. Ugh. Grr. Holy cow. Ugh. Hang on, let me just, how do you do this one-handed? There. So it goes, supposed to go forward like that. And it's, God. Also, there. And it goes forward like this too. Push it back now. God. Darn this thing. There we go. That's better. Same thing with the front legs. Basically, I don't want to go through all that paint again, though, but just see if I can. Nope. Okay, after some struggling, here's how it's supposed to look when you push it forward. Like it's supposed to look like that. It's like Mattel didn't want you to move those joints to me. Like, the quality control on this is not great. Just, God, it's hard to move. Obviously, they're a lot better than when I first took it out of the box, but they're still, like, rock stiff. It's so hard to actually move it. The only actual joint that actually works well is the head. Actually, this thing actually has a nice range of motion, I will say, actually. This is a like here, so I'll save that for later. But, yeah, lack of paint, horrible joints, just not something the Hammond Collection is known for. Well, maybe they are, I don't know. Looking at you, Tiger Raptor, with your loose little arms and not accurate paint. Hey, don't make fun of who I am. I was just born this way. I'm sorry, Tiger Raptor. Okay, back to the review. Anywho, this isn't really a dislike. I guess it's kind of a nitpick. Marco Makes had mentioned in his in-depth review of this figure how the detailing looked a little washed out. Like they didn't use he said as a sculptor, it just doesn't look to be I don't even kind of say it looks just a little bit washed out. Like not. It's kind of like the amount of pixels he was saying on a TV. Like the more pixels, better picture. Kind of like that. I think he was saying. This one doesn't have that great. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have noticed it unless he had said something. But yeah, I will admit the details aren't great. And why did they add these? What's with this little osteoderm scoot things along its back? That was clearly not in the film. Did they not even look at the figure? And also, I didn't really notice this until Marco Makes pointed out, but from the front, it doesn't look quite as accurate compared to the movie as it should be. And I will say, the swappable mouth. Why? Honestly, it's not as bad as the Drysaurus. That thing sucks with the mouth swappable thing. But at least it has good colors and great articulation, and it's overall a good figure with his mouth closed. However, this... Yeah, I don't know why you do it with the larger figure, because... And I feel like when I remove it, too, it feels like it's gonna break, or if, as people swap it out, off and on, it'll wear down the plastic. So, yeah, it's quite tricky to get out, especially when its mouth is closed. Let me just show you how it looks with it closed. There we go. Yeah. You're welcome. Another issue I have is the paint on the face, and then the color of the plastic on the lower jaw, and then the paint on the underside does not match. At all. In person, it actually looks worse. Like the tan on the underbelly does not match the face, and the color plastic they used for the lower jaw doesn't match either of them. What happened here? They did not put any effort into this? It just didn't seem like they did. And also, straight out of the box, there are some paint chips on the nails. On, I think, all of the feet. No, okay, actually, not the back ones. The back ones are fine. But just the front feet, which is kind of annoying. Also, kind of on the spikes a little bit, too, the painted ones. I was also kind of noticing some... where is it? Now, kind of here. The camera's not picking up on, but there's some little scratches on them already. Yeah, and I will say they didn't get the colors right. I will say it's more green in person. The camera's picking up as more blue. But even then, they did not get the colors right. And, the stripes didn't... They at least they made it onto the tail, but they didn't put any effort in, making it go any farther down. Which, yeah, that stinks, I guess. I honestly hate the design of this figure. The design they chose is, But honestly, though, people like myself who watched Fallen Kingdom and had never heard of Sinoceratops, I always thought it looked like this. Obviously, I knew it didn't have holes in its frill. I knew that was, artistic choice, but for so long, I always thought Sinoceratops looked like this. I never bothered to look up a picture of the real-life one, because how can you mess up a ceratopsian that bad? It's very simple, too. They're not, as complex as, a carnivore. But still, the design itself stinks. But we're talking about the actual figure. I can understand why people call it the sack of potatoes dinosaur, because holy cow, that's all it is. Anyways, those are my crap ton of dislikes. Now we'll get into my, couple likes I have, I guess. I mean, at least they got, okay, oh, right, the nails are painted. That's nice, right? Oh yeah, it has a dewclaw? Why does the Sinoceratops have a dewclaw? That's not a thing on ceratopsians. Oh, of course, it's not painted either. I mean, why would it be? They skipped down all that belly paint. I do like those orange speckling. I will say I kind of wish that was more on the tail, but I do like it. Looks decent. I will say I do like the more kind of squishy, kind of bendable frill and spikes here. I think yeah, that's nice. I like that. I mean, I guess I like the colors. They're fine. Need some more of it, but they're fine. Articulation in the head, like I mentioned before, actually does work pretty nice. Actually, it says, "Okay, got a good range of motion. Can look left to right." Actually, oh come on. Okay, when I first wanted to get this, I saw people were complaining with the size. However, I'm like, oh, use your imagination, people. I like to think of it as a juvenile one. Oh yeah, I forgot. The other one I actually do like. I think the swappable horn is a pretty neat idea. I like. Come off thing. Off. Ugh. There we go. Okay. I think the swappable horn idea is actually very cool. I like this. It's quite nice. Yeah, that's cool. The horns are painted actually quite nicely. They do have a dark brown, kind of a tan to it. I think that's a cool aspect to it. What else? That's about it for my likes. Okay, so all in all, this figure stinks. Don't get this thing. You might be like me, and you'll get him tailless the first time. I would not recommend this. I thought $24 was a good price for a Hammond Collection. Then I realized it's the reason it's cheap. It's because it was made cheap. Like, obviously, there's some good aspects to it. I will say they at least tried. I will say, and I said the articulation. It's kind of just a mainline figure, basic. I mean, other than the foot, a little hinge in the leg, that's really all you've got. Even on mainline figures, you have tail articulation for the ceratopsians. And honestly, I would say it's even better than the Hammond Collection Triceratops everyone hates. I know I said it. Don't hurt me. And honestly, the actual Jurassic Park Hammond Collection Triceratops, it's like a tad bigger than the Sinoceratops. You see that? It's a bit bigger than him. And honestly, having the Jurassic Park Triceratops in person like I do, it's really not a bad figure. Like, it's not horrible. Like, for the Hammond Collection being as new as it was when it came out, it's not a bad figure. Honestly, the only thing I didn't like was the head was a bit too big, and there's no mouth articulation. But I'll take no mouth articulation any day over tiny parts I can lose so easily. Yes, and I will say, actually, I just noticed this. The paint on the belly of the Triceratops goes farther down than the Sinoceratops. See, the Triceratops, it makes it to between the legs. He doesn't even make it to between the legs. Like, it seems to me they put more effort into this one than this one ever had. Yeah. I had mentioned how tiny this figure is compared to the Hammond Collection Carnotaurus. I miss getting the Carnotaurus. I really want it. I'm not shoveling out $300 for it, but I want the Hammond Collection Carno so bad. Sorry about that. Anyways, a Carnotaurus figure I do have that actually is in scale with him is this. I don't know if it's supposed to be a juvenile Carnotaurus or what, but it's this. It came in a set with I think. I can't think what it came in. I think it was either an Atrociraptor or a Dilophosaurus, and it came with like a human figure too. It did have a missing horn, but I gave it another horn out of air dry clay. Yeah. So this is like the only figure I do feel like is much better in scale with the Sinoceratops than the actual Hammond Collection Carnotaurus was. However, even then, I feel like this guy's a little too big, honestly, though. Which that's saying something too, because this figure is not very large. Yeah, so my rating. Sinoceratops, you get a 5.5 out of 10. Like, if you really, really want this figure, if you actually like its design, sure, by any means, get it. But if you're just getting it for the sake of you want another Hammond Collection Ceratopsian, do not get this guy. This thing sucks. Shut up, or I'm gonna throw you out the window. Okay, Daddy. So yeah, I would say this figure is kind of like a mid-tier. Like you'd only get it if like you just want to complete your Hammond collection. Like that's like probably the only reason you'd get this figure. Yeah, it's a pretty okay figure. The joints suck. The articulation is fine. Colors also stink, and the scaling also sucks too. So that's about all for this video. Thanks for watching. Dinosaur Obsessed